A young boy named Arte stands in a grand hall as an older, high-ranking man announces that Lord Arte has awakened the unique magic called light, and the crowd below is shocked to hear about unique magic. The man congratulates Arte while another person in the crowd explains that this makes Arte an awakened one, an incredibly rare prodigy, only 1 in 5 million. Arte himself looks stunned, barely able to process that he is now an awakened one. Suddenly, Arte clutches his head in extreme pain, crying out that it hurts more than he ever imagined. He collapses to his knees, screaming as he feels something flooding into his head. Arte experiences visions and questions if they are memories, seeing the name Yuto Sakuma, who he identifies as a 22-year-old Japanese university student who drowned. Arte realizes this must be his own past life and understands that he has reincarnated as Art von Ainsberg, the 10-year-old second son of a marquis. Arte is confused about his true identity, having lived his entire current life as Art. His past life memories are hazy, but he recalls a highly advanced civilization unlike anything in his current world, a place with no magic or monsters. He still retains the common sense and knowledge from that world, including scientific formulas. In the present, onlookers begin to gossip. One man comments that Arte may be an awakened one with unique magic, but another scoffs that he was granted a useless-looking power, and a third man suggests that light magic might only be useful for illumination. Others whisper that the Ainsberg family's star is fading and wonder how long their prosperity will last, cruelly labeling Arte as the awakened of the weakest unique magic in history. Arte overhears this and is shocked to be called the weakest. Arte's father, identified as Marquis Cain von Ainsberg, approaches him with his arms crossed and smiles, saying he never imagined Arte would become an awakened one with unique magic. He expresses confidence that his son, whom he calls Al, will master it. Arte's personal butler, Kale, agrees with the Marquis, while Arte thinks they are both being very laid-back about the situation. Marquis Cain laughs, saying he looks forward to seeing what Arte will do. Arte's mother, Aria von Ainsberg, rushes over and hugs him tightly, calling him Al. She tells her son how proud she is, squeezing him so hard he complains, as others congratulate him as well. Arte reflects on his impressive family. His father is the commander-in-chief of the Marquis' army and is feared by neighboring countries as the fierce god. His mother was once the commander of the Imperial Magic Division but now focuses on raising her children. He also has an older brother named Lloyd, who is the next head of the house, a handsome man very popular with noble daughters, and possesses a brilliant mind, though he isn't skilled with magic or swords. Arte then introduces his youngest sister, Ray, whom he calls the angel of their household. Ray runs up to him, calling him Brother Al, and tells him he is amazing, excitedly asking him to show her his magic sometime. Arte pats Ray's head, telling her he doesn't know if he can master it properly yet, but he promises to show her first when he does. Ray tells him she knows he can master it, though she adds that people say light magic is the weakest unique magic. Their mother, Aria, steps in and tells them there is no such thing as strong or weak magic. She explains that it is all decided by the strength of the person who wields it, telling Arte it is all up to him. Arte thinks about his mother's words as Ray encourages him, saying he's read many magic books and will be fine, and she looks forward to her own selection ceremony so he can teach her magic. His brother Lloyd also offers encouragement, stating Arte has always been more talented and that there are things only Arte can do, regardless of the type of magic. His parents smile at him, with his mother saying he's their son, after all. His father tells him not to pay attention to the nasty remarks from other nobles, dismissing it as mere jealousy. Reassured by his family's support, Arte clenches his fist, filled with new determination, and decides that he will be the one to determine if his magic is the weakest or the strongest. Later, while taking a bath, Arte reflects that ever since he was granted his unique magic, he can feel an incredible amount of magical power flowing through his body. The question is how to master light, as knowledge about it is limited in this world. He can see light in his hands but cannot touch it. However, he recalls what he learned about light in his past life. He remembers concepts like the speed of light, refraction, focusing light with a magnifying glass, the sun's light, laser pointers, photosynthesis, and even ultraviolet and infrared light, wishing his past self had studied harder. Arte realizes there seem to be many applications. He knows light's properties are that it's fast and bright and that it can also generate heat. He concludes that all he needs to do is control his immense magical power and bring these ideas to life. And he also decides he will have his mom and dad teach him magic and swordsmanship. He vows that he will turn the weakest magic into the strongest. He imagines himself grown, holding a sword, and resolves to adventure across this vast land to his heart's content. Back in the bath, he smiles, excited by the thought, and decides it's time to try some simple light magic. 2 years pass, and R, now older, is woken up in his bed by his sister Ray, who wishes him a good morning. He notes she is up early while he himself overdid his training again yesterday. Ray is excited and wants to see his light magic again today. She begs him to show her, and Arte agrees to show her just a little bit. Arte demonstrates his magic by creating glowing butterflies out of light that hover around his hand. He then asks her to look at another trick, and his body appears to turn invisible, a skill he calls optical camouflage. Ray asks if she can touch the light butterfly, but Arte apologizes, explaining that it's just light and doesn't have a physical form. Ray pouts but says she bets if he tries really hard, she could touch it, making Arte think how cute she is. Arte then thinks to himself that he wants to get real combat experience fighting monsters soon. Arte stands on the tail plains, ready for real combat. The vice commander of the Marquis' army, Marco, explains that as per Lord Kane's orders, Arte's task is to subjugate 10 goblins. Marco informs him that they will not interfere unless Arte's life is in mortal danger. Marco explains that this area is an important trade route, so they periodically cull the monsters here, and as a result, the monsters are primarily G to E rank, making it relatively safe for beginners. Arte thinks to himself that F rank goblins are perfect opponents for a beginner like him. However, Marco warns him that the D-rank black horses live in herds and are currently in their breeding season, making them extremely aggressive, so Arte must be careful. Goblins appear, and the narration explains that they reproduce by kidnapping human females and other monster species, making them the most hated creatures in this world. As Marco's men prepare to engage, Arte holds out his hand and tells them not to interfere, stating that he can handle this alone. Arte activates his skills, using lightspeed thinking to visualize the most efficient path to take all the goblins down. He then uses light detection, which allows him to grasp all information in any area touched by sunlight. He aims his finger and unleashes Spear of Light. Beams of light shoot out, instantly piercing several goblins. He thinks of it as a magic version of a laser pointer, but acknowledges that it is many times more powerful. A goblin swings a club at him, but Arte activates Body Enhancement. He recalls his mother's training to tense the mana organ and circulate magical power throughout his body. He easily dodges the attack, finds the perfect angle, and strikes the goblin down. More goblins rush towards him, and Arte decides this is a good chance to test a new technique. He combines the swordsmanship his dad taught him and focuses his Spear of Light. He unleashes a new attack, Arrow of Light, which shoots out and simultaneously impales the entire remaining group of goblins. Marco watches the destruction and calls the display magnificent, wondering if any living creature can possibly react to the speed of Lord Arte's light magic. Arte, however, remains humble, thinking that on this continent alone, there must be at least 100 other awakened ones like him, so he cannot let his guard down. Suddenly, a soldier runs up, calling for the vice commander and bearing terrible news. Art, looking shocked, demands to know what happened to his father and his men. The soldier reports that the Black Dragon Knights, led by the commander-in-chief, were wiped out in a battle with monsters.